So Blizzard ran into its second annual BlizzCon controversy. They gotta stop that. And issued the most corporate non-apology they could have possibly, given where they didn't even mention what they did wrong, and very much didn't say they wouldn't do it again. I basically used to be owned by Blizzard. The first real game I ever played, aside from like Freddy Fish, was Diablo. And of course, I was super excited when Diablo 2 came out. Then I went super hard on Warcraft 3, I beat the campaign several times, and when I heard they were making an MMO about it, I thought, what? A Warcraft game where you play as like one dude? No one wants to play that. Needless to say, that was the dumbest take I have ever made, and played the shit out of WoW. There were like several points in my life where the only games I would play were Blizzard games, so I can understand why people are thinking of backtracking on the idea of not buying any more Blizzard games. You know, after seeing all of these new announcements, because you love the idea of what those games could be. I mean, you know how much you love their other stuff. Knew of that? Yes! Now, of course, I could go on about why it's bad that they banned a Hearthstone player from playing for speaking out against the Chinese government, but like last year, there are a million other videos you can watch talking about that. And I'm super happy about that because a lot of them know a lot more than I do, and might even live in Hong Kong, so they have more context than I do too. So, I'm just gonna talk to you about what I do know. What games you can play instead of Blizzard games. Let's get Heroes of the Storm out of the way first. Just play any other MOBA. Any of them. Just go ahead, there's like a bajillion. Next up is Hearthstone. Now, truth be told, this is not my area of expertise. I'm not a big card game man. But there's always Gwent, the Witcher card game. It was a lot of fun in Witcher 3, so I mean, I assume that the online version would be too. There's Slay the Spire if you're looking for a single player game. That one isn't free though, but it is really good. Or just go with Magic Online. That seems like a pretty decent standard. Now we get to WoW. I feel a lot of people have moved on from WoW to lots of different things, but my personal choice is Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 is very similar to WoW, but with a lot of the bullshit removed, and a bunch of good stuff added. Where WoW has always been sort of lacking in the area of combat, Guild Wars 2 has a lot more varied and skill-based stuff. You need to time dodges, aim attacks, use your fingers and mouse for more than just the rotations. The leveling system is also a lot more fun. Instead of having to, you know, go and get the quest, do a very specific thing the quest asks, and then move on, most Guild Wars 2 quests have areas that they just exist in. There are multiple ways to solve them, and they take a combination of each of these things to do in any way that you want to do them. Plus, there are events that just pop up randomly in the world, like little mini-games. And even exploring the map gets you a significant amount of XP. Plus, getting in-game and raid-level gears is something you can just do immediately when you hit max level. Like, buying it off the auction house is easy. Also, there's a very play-how-you-want feel to it, where there's a lot of different builds and all of them are viable. It feels like a very improved version of WoW, where leveling isn't a race, it's fun, and there's, like, gameplay. And also, it's free. Now for Overwatch. Instead of buying Overwatch 2, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna play Destiny 2's PvP. The multiplayer in it is honestly a lot more fun than I expected it to be. It avoids that they saw me first so I'm dead problem a lot of games have by... I don't actually know how they fixed that, but every confrontation feels like a fight, and I really like that. Gambit is a pretty interesting game mode if you want a team-based tactics thing, or just fuck around in the Crucible if you want to just shoot dudes, you know, like I do. Plus, there's the rest of the game that can just be a good WoW replacement. It's a twofer that there, Destiny 2, made all the better after it left Blizzard and is now free to play. And of course, if specifically you want a hero shooter, TF2 ain't going nowhere. Now here's the big one. Diablo. Diablo holds a special place in my heart, and Diablo 4 looks like it went back on a lot of the stuff I didn't like in Diablo 3. It's darker, it's more moody, they put skill trees back in the game, they got the guy who played the dad in The Witch and Skekmal to voice in the trailer, they put PvP back in the game, and even the music sounds better. It seems like they worked hard to bring us OG Diablo players back in, with something that feels a lot more like Diablo 1 and 2. But I ain't even tempted slightly. Most other OG Diablo players will know exactly why. Path of Exile is the game that I have the most hours in on Steam, and it deserves every single one of them. It was created by a small New Zealand team as a response to the Diablo 3 spite felt by pretty much every OG Diablo player. And we have not only kept them in business with what I consider the golden standard for microtransactions, we have gotten them to thrive. This year in particular, Grinding Gear Games has put out several massive updates that added more gear crafting stuff, a bunch of fun things to do from building a dungeon to solving a fucking Pepe Sylvia board, as well as just reworking how melee combat works and making it more fun. But that's on top of the baseline, where it seems like Diablo 4 is a return to the form of Diablo 2, Path of Exile saw Diablo 2 as that game to build off of and add more to. The intricacies of gem combinations and the skill forest this game has makes it the deepest skill stat customization in a video game. Like, the game turns into what kind of stupid crazy bullshit can I do this league? My Necromancer is so powerful she can kill bosses so fast the boss bugs out. There's also the leagues that run for 2 months, and they add interesting new mechanics to the game that are then added into the base game. So if at some point you take a break, when you come back there'll be a whole fuck ton of new stuff waiting for you. Plus, they're announcing 4.0 really soon, which is going to be a giant expansion they're making specifically to compete with Diablo 4. It seems like it's going to be their biggest one yet, and the last one gave us 6 new acts. This is the Diablo game I'm hyped for. And it's free. All of these games are free. I'm just gonna change the title of the fucking video to, like, you know, to say that. You can find all the fucking better versions of these games for free. Like, I can't even...